As a mom, I could look at my kids every day and wonder what the future holds for them. Or I could ask Tyler Henry, the Hollywood medium.
Please welcome Tyler Henry. Kind of just changed my life.
You are the real thing.
I met with him in the Hollywood Hills, and what he was about to tell me would change my life forever.
How did you know that? Like, that's crazy.
Please subscribe.
Hi, Tyler.
Hello.
What does it mean to be a medium? Like when you were 5 years old, did you know that one day you were gonna grow up and appear on the hit Facebook Watch series, New Mom Who Dis?
Right, I had no clue of the future stardom to come. And
Please,
here it is.
Here it is.
You know, when I was 10 years old, I woke up one night and I just had this knowingness that my grandmother was going to die. And I went into the room to try to explain this to my mom, and I was crying and saying, oh my God, I don't know why I feel this way. And her phone rang. And she said, hold on, Tyler. And she picked up her phone, and it was my dad on the other end. And he just said, Barbara's dead. She passed away. And I was just right by her, and that was my grandma.
Wow. I am a mom,
Yes.
but I'm like too impatient to wait 18 years to find out what my boys become.
Sure.
Are you able to tell me if my twins will go to Harvard?
You know, it's very hard to establish what a toddler will be as an adult, but it is very easy to establish what a toddler will deal with when they're 7 or 8.
Okay, deal. There's no prison in the next 10 years, is
Seen
there?
any of that? No,
Okay,
they're good.
Do you have any sense about what they might look like when they grow up?
You know, it's interesting. That actually often will not come through. And the same actually with people who've died. When I do a medium reading, people think I'll see the loved one standing there and what they look like. I actually will only see their messages.
So maybe this might help you out. Will they look like this?
You know, what are your other options? Let's see.
Okay,
are we gonna-
this.
No,
You're not seeing that for
I
them?
mean, if they're, we'll talk after, but.
Did you want to take that one?
Give this one a
Yeah,
sign.
perfect.
All right, this one I'm just gonna save for my personal collection. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You have read everybody from Kim Kardashian to Matt Lauer. Did not see that one coming.
I did actually, but yeah, it's a different story. Next question.
You told Khloe Kardashian that her relationship with Tristan Thompson might not work out, and it did not.
Didn't take a psychic, but yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would have told me if my husband was having an affair with my sister's best friend.
If I saw it, yes.
If you saw it.
I would absolutely tell you.
Okay. Now that I was prepared for anything, I brought my kids in for a reading. Guys, this is Tyler Henry.
Hello, how are
Hollywood
you?
medium.
Precious, those eyelashes.
I know, I glue mine on.
Oh my God.
And his are natural. Tyler's gonna do a reading for us. How does that sound?
I'm excited. We're going to see what comes through.
Are you excited?
No.
No.
Just like, no,
They're like,
that's
yeah.
okay.
They're like,
That's
is
all
it
right.
Elmo? No. Okay, guys, will you do your thing?
Yes.
Tyler, I have never done this before.
Sure.
I have never seen a psychic, a medium. I don't know what to do.
No worries, I'll explain my process, let you know kind of what to expect, and then we'll jump right in.
Okay.
I do scribble, and scribbling is really my way of kind of meditating, kind of getting into the zone. So
Okay.
we'll give it a scribble. It's gonna take me 1 sec. Now, it's really interesting. As we're connecting, I do feel like I'm gonna talk about a number of people. There's one thing that pops in that's kind of interesting. And then who are you? Let me see. There's these people coming in, and they don't feel like biological family to you, but they're having me reference to a marriage significance, and then I keep getting a reference to the name Frank, and I can't make it change over and over and over again. Frank. He's having me bring up this whole thing about a marriage situation, and then just referring to this woman that he would be with, and then there's this feeling of we're together now in some capacity. I don't know who these people are, but they communicate with your children. So this is just good to keep in mind.
How do you know that?
Is this something that's been discussed?
Oh my God, yeah. My husband's grandfather, Frank, Papa Frank, just passed away. And like, we named Dre after him.
Wow.
Dre's middle name is Green because Frank was Frank Green, but he wasn't my husband's actual grandfather.
I see.
He married
Right.
my husband's grandmother
Amazing.
later on in life.
Wow, very
That's-
cool. Because in the way it comes in, there's an implicit connection to your children, and it's like undeniable.
But when he died, we felt like we lost the opportunity
you know, we didn't see him enough. Like, he didn't know our kids enough. And so just to know that he's present and he's with them and like
Absolutely.
he lives on through them is
No doubt.
amazing.
And he's going to see every stepping stone that your children make. And so today's validation that he's going to be there continually. There's something to be said just regarding them. When he comes through, he's having me kind of give you something to keep in mind about their kind of general health. Around 4 or 5, they're having me acknowledge just this little like hiccup thing. Something developmental of some kind of things that seem like kind of processing differences in a learning respect. But I see them both catching up plenty fine. I'm not concerned in any way. So
Okay.
if I was, I would totally let you know. There is an acknowledgement just good to keep in mind for your general health. They are having me talk about just, I know it's a little personal, but uterine area in this department. They're just having me acknowledge that you may end up dealing with what looks like an ovarian cyst at some point. And this is just good to keep in mind.
Tyler, I thought maybe you would talk about a grandparent or my twins. I did not expect an ovarian cyst.
You know?
You're, like, seriously, this is more in depth than my annual gynecological exam.
Well, I hope not. By the end of this, I'm not going to whip out the chair, but we're good. But on that
Oh
note,
my gosh.
one last thing that's kind of coming in mind, they are having me talk about you, your partner, where y'all are going to be living in the long run. I'm seeing an opportunity for a residence shift. Next 6 months, this is going to be a discussion, and it looks great.
Tyler Henry. We just had an offer accepted on a house.
Congratulations.
We're supposed to move in a month.
Oh, I love that. And that's going to be where you're going to be more in the long run. So this is a necessary thing.
That's amazing. That's such a relief because we have been going back and forth. Should we go for it? Should we not? We want a more solid place to raise our family. And so the fact that you said that we would be solidified over the course of the next 6 months is amazing.
So good. You know, it gives you that affirmation to move forward and know that this is the right decision. You're going to be fine. And your kids are amazing. Like, I'm not worried about anything. I see no red flags. If I saw anything that was worrying me, I would want to let you know because I think the future's not set in stone. We can do certain things to kind of prevent issues. But for you, I'm excited.
Can I ask you one more question?
Of course, absolutely.
On my dad's side, the family member that I'm the closest to was my grandmother.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'll tune into this. Can I just connect with her a little bit and we'll see what comes in? Do you have a specific question related to her?
Mm-hmm. I just want to know if she knows that I have my own family now.
Oh, of course. You know, I think people always wonder that. Like, do they see us? Do they know? And the answer is a resounding yes. When she comes in, for her general kind of mentality with this was like, I'm okay with my transition. I feel like she lived a full life when this comes through. There was kind of a little bit of a disagreement around what to do with her as far as like taking her from house to something else. When this comes through, she's okay with how that ultimately went, but there was this conflict that still kind of tainted the waters, so to speak. She's like, let this go, let this go. I was gonna, I'm in my 90s. It's like, let me go. So I hope that happens.
How did you know that? Like, that's crazy. Oh my God.
She's okay.
My grandma, she lived to be in her 90s and she wanted to live alone in her own place for so long. I've always wondered, you know, if that was the best thing for her.
She's okay. She didn't want to be a burden to her family, and regardless of how that went, she was ready to go.
Right.
I hope that gives some comfort.
Thank you. And like just knowing that she knows that my boys are here, I think she would be so proud of them.
Oh, no doubt. I'm so
Tyler,
glad we got to connect.
You're sweating.
I
I'm
am.
crying.
That's
We're just,
okay. We're both
this
really
is-
moist.
We're
I want to give you this.
Can
This
I
is the
keep
scribble.
this?
Yeah, please do. And
I mean, it's better than my children's art.
you know what? I'll take it.
Thank you.
Of course, absolutely.
Oh my God.
Oh, darling, absolutely.
God, Tyler,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Of course.
Ree, can you say thank you to Tyler?
Oh, that little
Thank you,
thing.
Tyler.
Oh, that made my life. You're so welcome.
Tyler says you're gonna grow up and you're gonna be just fine.
Yep.
Mwah.
More bread.
More bread.
More bread.
Priorities, Tyler.
Right,
More
exactly.
bread.
More bread.
Thank you.
That's how I feel. You're so welcome.
More bread.
Okay, we'll get you more bread. Mwah.